I want to welcome everybody to our first episode of Hot Facts. The purpose of this podcast is to educate and inform our community just about the real estate products that are out there and how you can build wealth through home ownership. I'm joined today by my two hosts, Cristian Castillo, Angel Carlos.
Thank you, Neri. Thank you. Appreciate the invite.
Appreciate it. Can't wait. Looking forward to it.
It's going to be a lot of fun today, guys. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to make our introductions. We want to let the audience know, who we are. We already let them know why we're going to be doing this podcast. So with that, I think it's a cool story, right? About how we all got connected, and the common denominator is going to be social media, yes. Right? So with that, I want to let Chris start because he's actually the catalyst of how kind of this whole thing got started.
This whole chain, right?
Definitely. Yeah. So Cristian Castillo, like Jesus mentioned, I've been working in the industry now for about 3 years. Started as a real estate agent, and now I'm a loan officer with Trust the Beard more than anything. And it's a great story. It's a great story how we all got aligned with each other. It was about a year ago in December 2021, after the pandemic was about to be over with. I was doing a lot of TikTok videos at the time, right? I was posting a lot of TikTok, and I was on that app a lot. And one day, out of the blue, right, I get a video from Angels, and I'm like, wow, who is this? This is very different. I've never seen anyone do this before. Like, that's awesome. And he's from Chicago. I'm like, oh snap, that's what's up. So I reached out to him and like, hey man, I love your videos and this and that. And it was mutual respect for each other, because obviously he was the only one I saw on TikTok, anyone else from Chicago. So I'm like, man, if he's willing to do that before anyone else, he's got something. He knows what the importance of being on social media is more than anything. So that's where we started the relationship, right? Where I'm like, man, that's cool. If he's willing to do that, there must be something to him that he sees that's valuable more than anything. And thankfully, man, it worked out, I think.
Full circle right here, right now.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like looking back. It's like, man, how we got connected just off, me popping up in your For You page, you could say, right? And then from there, it's just like, we got in contact, and then we actually initiated a conversation. And from there, it's like, it was really quick to know that like we're in the same wavelength or frequency. And to me, it's like, just before I jump into that, it's like, I'm a realtor out here in the Chicagoland area, specifically in the northwest suburbs. But anywhere else, regardless here, Chicagoland, I can help you out. I'm located out here, and I'm part of Remax Next. So we're out here in 2 locations. But one of the things that I focus on as a realtor, I started in 2019. But one of the things that I really focused on was just being on camera and putting myself out there. I guess in a time where you could say it wasn't as common to just upload clips on Instagram or on Facebook, it was more like, if you're going to do videos, that's YouTube, bro. Like, why are you going to jump on Instagram? Yeah. Why are you going to jump on Facebook? And to me, it was more like, I wasn't on these platforms for 4 years. So to me, Instagram and Facebook, I knew how to use. I just had to adjust and update myself a little bit. But other than that, I already had like a group of friends, or my old, you could say my sphere circle or influence and stuff. And to me, it was more of, dude, if this to me is a following, in a way, it's like, why am I gonna go out there on YouTube and try to fight the algorithm, or try to get out there and get maybe 10 subscribers when I already have 400 friends on Facebook, right? When I already have 400 followers on Instagram? And to me, it's like, I already have a subscriber base or a following or an audience, a little community. Now let's nurture it. Yep. And to me, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna hop on it. And from there, full circle, 3 years later, almost to the date, now we're here, man. So nice. It's really cool to just be here on the podcast once again. Sure. Third one of the week. So,
Nice.
That's all good stuff. And the whole social media component of it, the reason that Chris brought it up is because we started an actual calendar. And we were very regimented about all the things that we were posting through social. But what we realized was that there was more people on the West Coast that were doing things with TikTok than in the Midwest or even on the East Coast. But then where I think you stood out to me specifically, because Chris introduced me, is that even though you were on TikTok and even though you were on Instagram, you weren't following all the trends that everybody else does. I've never seen a video of you dancing to the newest TikTok trend. I've never seen you doing a TikTok challenge. I've never, and I think that's what it takes for people to realize that, look, YouTube is great for long form content, right? And it is an educational platform. But TikTok has evolved to that. TikTok has evolved to that because people's attention span is a little bit less than what it used to be. So now if you can have a short form content that gives people a preview of what you're going to do on YouTube, well, then it just funnels it and it keeps that page going, right?
Definitely.
For us, that's what it was, and it's this funny little thing that I've said to a few folks. And it's when I was with the team and we were starting to do the social media on a regular basis, we got a lot of traction. Some of the videos got like 40,000 views. We have other videos that got 30,000 views. And I remember in those moments, I would tell the team, like, that doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
Because the goal is not to go viral, right? The goal is to be an educator. The goal is to bring resources to your community, right? And in those moments, it's like, do you guys want to go viral? Go lick a dog's butt. And I promise you, you'll go viral, right?
Overnight, you'll be freaking viral.
Yeah. Dress up really nice. Go ahead, put on all your expensive stuff and get right behind a little pooch and lick their butt. And I promise you, you'll get a bunch of views. If that's what your goal is, if you're willing to go viral, then you go to that point. And that leads me to the whole thing of like, I take this social media part a little bit more serious. I was doing videos on Instagram before TikTok existed.
You're in MySpace, you were saying, right? Just promoting your business. Maybe not videos, but like you were still on there, you know what I mean?
You know what's crazy is because what you say I remember that conversation about the team when I got my first like viral video. It was like 40,000 views.
Yeah.
And I remember you telling me, okay, where's the business?
Right.
And I'm like, wait. Yeah, you're right. I'm not here to shake my ass, like so to say, right, and go viral. No, it's to convert business. I'm not trying to be a social media star. I'm trying to be a loan officer, right? So it's business that I'm looking at, not views, right? Conversion. Then after that, I started receiving 200, 300 views. But at that point now, I was actually getting people to contact me and everything. Hey, I want to buy and this and that. I'm like, so it's not like you said, you have so much value there because it's not so many how many views you're getting, it's how many people are actually reaching out, how many people are actually commenting, how many people want to know more about what you have to offer.
That interaction.
Right? Because like you said, I'll go famous, right? I have 40,000 views, but all the likes are from India.
Yeah.
Like I'm never gonna sell real estate. I don't have my license there, not yet at least. I know I look like it. I look the part, but it's all good. I love my brothers out there, but I can't help you guys right now. I'm in the US, but yeah, man, that's I remember you saying that. I'm like, man, relax. That's not the most important thing anymore. The most important thing is conversion.
Yes.
Yep. Hell yeah.
And thankfully, because of that, like you said, we're gonna be talking about social media this podcast because out of the social media, we got a client together, didn't we?
There we go. And I think that's the exciting part to me. It was just aligning myself with someone. And I was even having this conversation yesterday with my mentor as well. We were saying it's like, regardless of how long it takes for you to find those right individuals, for you to align with, once you find them, it's just fucking history from there, bro. Because now you're off to the races. Now it's off to it's just a matter of time till we construct another kingdom, right? All of us have our own brands. All of us have our own kingdoms, other empires, or you could say digital empires, you could say. So then we come together. It's like, fuck, bro. Now we are a fucking nation. Now we're a fucking army, bro. So to me, it's more like now we're off to the races. But just in general, man, just going off how you mentioned it brings us together. And the conversion rate of making these videos actually make worth something, right? It's a digital form of currency, bro, but at the end of the day, it could convert to actually helping people. And then at the end of the day, we're here to service them. So
yeah, definitely. And more than anything, it's the trust, like you said, that the brand is behind that. Once we put each other on our stuff, right? We share each other's stuff. They're going to be like, oh, well, that team works together, right? There's the capability of the team that works together and can help you achieve whatever you need to, because you see them working together, right? You see them posting each other, and then you go to their page. Oh, wow. Look at how much history of how many videos they've had, right? Oh, they do it. They know what they're talking about, right? Because I know our client went through our page.
Went through all of our pages.
I found it on TikTok, liking photos that were like a year old. I'm like, yo, calm down,
That's my lender,
I appreciate
bro.
the love.
That's what the buyer or the consumer is thinking of, bro. They're like, yo, I'm not working with these people right now, but at the end of the day, it's like, that's my realtor, that's my lender, bro. Right. And to them, it's like, we haven't even interacted face to face yet on a human level, right? On a physical level, but we still interacted in a way because they see us consistently on their feed, bro. Yeah. So at the end of the day, to me, it's more like, yo, that's already our client in a way, right? But to them, it's like, yo, that's my fucking professional, that's my realtor, that's my my lender. So, bro, branding does work, man.
Definitely, man.
And I'll tell you guys a little bit of stuff for me, like being the old guy in the room, right? So this year it'll be 20 years for me in the mortgage business. And when I got into the business, I was 21 years old. We were still using fax machines. There was still carbon paper that you had to do for contracts.
Yeah.
And I've seen the way that this business has evolved from, you know, having this big bulky computer on your desktop to now literally last year not ever having to open my laptop because I have two cell phones that one has my software in it and the other one gets and it's this thing where it's like, how much has this evolved, right?
Yeah.
And if we look at that component of it just with the technology, then why hasn't marketing evolved? Right. So when I was doing MySpace, I was doing some of the similar stuff that's going on right now. And all I was doing was interacting with people, asking questions. I started posting pictures of houses that some of my realtors had sold. And then it picked up this traction. What I think about in those moments is if I would have been a little bit more forward thinking, I could have started a lead generation business because that social media platform, you know, Chris mentioned something right now where you say, you know, our clients went to go look at our page, your client, right? And it was they all went to go look at ours. Yeah. And that only edifies the thing that I'm trying to tell you guys with social media. It becomes your living resume.
Yeah.
And if you're doing good things, then people don't need to meet you to have trust in you.
Right.
Exactly.
And then there's this thing that happened and it continues to happen. For me, when I got into business, the only way you got business was cold calls.
Yeah, the old school ways.
Now, if you ask people to do cold calls, everyone has call apprehension. even the borrowers have call apprehension to call you to ask you for a loan. So why not put something forward-facing, consumer-facing that has all your information on there so that person doesn't have that apprehension to say, well, maybe this guy's too busy, or maybe this guy's never going to answer my phone call, or he's, you know, not enough, and then you have your stuff on there and you're very diligent about it. What do you know? FHA. What do you know? Conventional. What do you know? Non-QM loans, right? Yeah. And in there, this education component of it. Knowing the programs isn't enough. Knowing how to use the programs is what makes you a dangerous loan officer, right? That's those things that we can convert. With social media, look, I really, really do believe that there is a component of it that has the capacity to connect people from all across the world, right? If you utilize it correctly, you can leverage it so that you can have business without having to pay for advertisement, right? And I'm going to say something that most people are not going to believe me, right? I've never, ever paid for a boost on an advertisement that I've done. Mm-hmm. I've not bought ads through social media. I've not done any of that. I've just been consistent on a regular basis of the things that I post. I use my clients as testimonials. I'm knowledgeable about the business that I have, and I don't do that. Imagine if I started putting money into it. Right now, Chris and I get between 4 and 5 leads a week who are calling us organically just from social.
Consistently, right?
Yeah.
Shit.
And those are the things where I think now in this component, right, we can leverage it a little bit better because of our expertise in it, right? You have a great following on TikTok and Instagram, and so does Chris. So in this component that we work together, now let's bring out that education component of it. Yep. And it leads me to this like serendipitous moment of how we all met, right?
Yeah.
So it goes,
full circle, man.
Chris meets you on TikTok. You guys connect through Instagram, right? Yeah. You reach out to me. I connect with you through Instagram, right? Yeah. A few weeks pass. Chris keeps telling me, hey man, this guy Angel's doing some really great things, blah, blah, blah. And then I tell him, you know, we have to leverage our social media better and we need to do a story about it.
Yes.
Definitely. And we got a gift. Customer reaches out to me on a YouTube video that I did almost a year ago.
It's full circle, bro. On all the fucking platforms,
on
bro.
all of them.
Crazy.
And then he tells me, are you guys still doing this loan? Finds me on Instagram, follows me on Instagram, right? Sends me a message and says, I'm really interested in buying a house. I have the money for a down payment. That's why you do the long form content, right? Yes. Because in that episode that he saw, it was an hour about 7 years ago about I-10 loans that I was doing. And back then it was 20% down, 20% down for I-10. And I still have people calling me right now about that. Now imagine when I start talking about that we do 3.5% I-10. Man. That's how we're innovative.
And it's the best part too. It's like, even if you do them, like when you do the video and you upload it, like let's just say this week, right? Dude, that's just a countdown. Now the timer's ticking, right? Yeah. Now it's just a clock. And even then the algorithm is going to push. If you're on YouTube, it's going to push it in here in 3 years or 5 years. Yeah. They're going to reach out. Hey, are you guys still offering that 3.5 program? Yeah. Fuck, by then, who knows? Maybe it's, you know, less or something, bro. So, but to me, it's like the longevity, the long term of it. I think that's the thing that, you know, we're trying to hit the nail on, because I think that's where we've seen the results as well. We're like, oh, maybe all of our other content might have like now bring us results down the line, right. But it's like now we're seeing that return. And to me, it's more like it kind of goes sort of ties to your point of the virality stuff. It's like it's not just for a one hit wonder. Nope. We're here for the long term game, and to me, that's the cool part. Like how we connected, because we're all in it for the long term game, the conversion game, everything about it. So, and I don't even think we fully felt like gone started on it. So I don't know, man. I just feel like it's just the beginning, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's exciting to be in this place, you know, and then the things that we want to do, right, independently, you know, and collaboratively, I think that's what makes it fun, right? And what we want to do is educate more people, right? You something that you mentioned was, you know, once you and I started following each other on social, then your friends started following me.
Oh yeah, man.
And they started asking you questions like, what's this about the mortgage business, right? Yeah. And you think about those relationships that you have with other, you know, lenders. You had those relationships for 3 years. You and I have been working together for a month, and your people are following us because we have that information out there. It's not because I'm driving a Bugatti. It's not because I have a bunch of girls on my arm or I'm popping bottles. Look at my page. My page is informational. It has all the stuff that you need to do so that you can start the process of buying a home. We talk about FHA. We talk about conventional. We talk about all these products, and that's how we got this customer, right? So then it goes full circle, right? Customer reaches out through us through Instagram. We take his application and he qualifies. Great credit score, right? Yeah. Great credit score, has a down payment, and he knows what he wants. This is what happens when you put that information out there. You set the expectation of what people are gonna expect.
We sort of like unintentionally planted our own seeds for a big tree.
Correct.
It's like, yeah, like the seeds might have been scattered, but maybe we threw like for each of our brands, right? It's kind of like throwing a seed, aka videos, right? We threw a seed, bro, and then somehow all 3 of those seeds landed in one spot, and now it's a fucking tree. Mm-hmm. And that tree ended up being a future lead, and then future business. From there came another lead. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Now it's a fucking money tree, you could say. So then at the end of the day, it's more of an opportunity tree. So it's something that wouldn't have existed had we not planted those seeds way before. So just seeing the long-term game.
And now we have a little sprout, right? We're under contract with our customer, right? He found a good property that he wants, right? And in that component, right, we talk about, again, our commitment to these customers, because it's not enough to get somebody under contract, and it's not enough to get somebody approved with their documents. The education component of it now clicks in, right? To understand that this is a long-term commitment. You're going to be married to me for the next 30 years. You better get to know me, right? Yeah. There's a whole process that's going to go into it about making your payments. And if you really learn how to play this game, you can pay your house off sooner. You can save money on interest rate by splitting your payment. You can refinance at a lower interest rate. You can capitalize the equity that you have in your home to make future investments. This is not a one thing. This is the start of something. It may feel like the end, but it's the beginning of it, because now you have that asset that you needed to be able to make all the moves that you want.
And I think it just ties back to my point as well, like where it's just why we started. I mean, going back to the initial questions, like why we started on social media specifically. And one of the things that you mentioning that as well, it's like we want to bring education and awareness. Yeah. That's the purpose of it. And to me, it's more like, you know, having aligned myself with you guys, it's because we align ourselves in that same purpose, in that same vision of educating, bringing more awareness towards the real estate industry or in general, how you can create wealth and possibly like, you know, expand your knowledge on this real estate game and stuff. So to me, that's something that I was encouraged by, like just posting educational stuff. It's like if there's already products available and these people don't know about, let me make a freaking video about it. Let me educate these people, regardless even if it's your family members, your relatives, or it doesn't matter who doesn't support it or not. Then they just put it out because it's you who made that promise to yourself at the end of the day. So to me, I want to see the long-term vision in this, and to me being or how do you say, like being aligned and finding people along the way in the process is probably the most beautiful thing ever, man, to me. Mm-hmm. And I think like I said, like we just evolve as we keep going. And then in the past, you could say almost 4 years, I've seen that evolution with different partners, different people. But at the end of the day, we're still moving forward. As long as the trajectory is forward and up, that's all I'm all for it, man, for sure.
Definitely, man.
Yeah. And then the other part that we didn't talk about that we definitely should talk about is todos hablamos español.
Yes,
we got it. Y la mayoría de la gente que estamos ayudando ahorita, español es su primer idioma. Yeah. Y en ese caso, si tienes un equipo que entiende tu idioma, que entiende la cultura y no tu cultura, hace este proceso un poco más fácil para todos, ¿verdad? Sí. Para nosotros el compromiso no nomás es para la gente que puede comprar con seguro, pero también la gente que tiene el número de ITIN que quiere comprar. porque sabemos que ellos están aquí tomándose un riesgo muy grande, quieren establecer un patrimonio aquí, quieren tener raíces aquí en los Estados Unidos y los programas que tenemos nosotros les puede ayudar a lograr ese sueño. Y ahora imagínense ustedes la parte de las redes sociales. Si empezamos a hacer más en español, ¿cuánta gente no se va a comunicar con nosotros?
Sí, y luego creo también a la vez que no hay muchos enfrente de la cámara que hablan español, y al momento que usted vea a alguien que habla español en tu pantalla, en tu newsfeed, luego te vas a traer como, te va a traer la atención, porque a la vez, al fin del día, como que no vas a ver.
Entender,
sí,
exacto. Tal vez me
como
entienden
que
porque hablan el idioma.
Sí, y al fin del día, como que muchos piensan que uno no habla español, pero a veces hablamos muy callejero, como dicen, o a veces al nivel profesional, pero al fin del día es alguien en español que te está hablando enfrente de tu pantalla, y te puede dar ese mensaje o un consejo o lo que sea, un tipo de información que quizás nunca sabías, pero ahora él te lo dio por tu pantalla.
No, sí, como dices, a lo mejor, ¿verdad? El español no es tan bien, ¿verdad? Y, como dice mi mamá, hablamos español del rancho, como dice mi mamá. Pero, ¿verdad? Lo importante es de que pues lo podemos entender, ¿verdad? Pues más que nada yo empecé a hacer videos y no tengo la mejor idioma, no puedo hablar lo mejor en español, ¿verdad? Pero intenté, y gracias a Dios, ¿verdad? Lo estoy haciendo porque veo a la misma gente que estoy ayudando como mi mamá, ¿verdad? Porque es la misma situación, vino de otro país a crear una mejor vida para nosotros, sus hijos, ¿verdad? Y pues si ella tuviera la información de que yo tengo ya como prestamista para ayudar a los clientes con ITIN, ¿verdad? Si yo fuera a dar la información a mi mamá antes pasado, pues toda la vida sería diferente de todos nosotros, ¿verdad? Por eso, ¿verdad? Es muy grande para mí, ¿verdad? Aunque, ¿verdad? No tenga el mejor español, ¿verdad? Para poder ayudar a la comunidad con lo que yo sé, todavía lo puedo ayudar, ¿verdad? A crear una vida mejor. Sí. Gracias a Dios.
Y la otra parte es that everyone habla English and Spanish now. And it's the Spanglish thing. And it's the no sabo kids that are out there telling their mom, right? Like, Mama, I want huevos con chorizo. But listen, it's a language of ours, right? And in there's the incorporation of what it came from. Yeah. And what? I'm going to be critical of someone for trying? You're trying to speak Spanish and you throw an English word in there. I'm going to make fun of you for that? That's not cool, man. Yeah. Like, we're all trying. And then, like, not to get into a whole other thing, but in Mexico, Spanish wasn't even the native language. So slow down about telling people you're not Mexican because you don't speak Spanish, right? We're all just trying to understand each other. And I think with this podcast, that's our primary focus, right? We want to bring awareness. We want to bring education. We have a lot of great things coming up for the rest of the season. We're going to talk about how to use real estate to grow other businesses that you have. We're going to talk about products that we've developed very recently. We're going to talk about some big announcements that are coming up for our community. And then we're going to just keep rolling through there. You know, if anyone has questions or there's topics that you want us to talk about, send us a comment let us know. If there's questions that you have about the things that we talked about, or you want to know how you can incorporate social media things, obviously reach out to us as well. Angel, why don't you hit them with the hot facts, bro? What did we learn today about our social media component?
The hot facts for this episode, to wrap it up, pretty much, breaking it down to social media, how we actually got connected, right? And the theme of it is just being the power of social media to me. And as well, just the hot fact of it is that, with that leverage that you use from social media, you can really get a lot from it, a lot of opportunities if you're not on it, a lot of opportunities you might be missing out if you are not on social media or have an online presence right now. So to me, it's more of this episode was more of a introductory towards our relationship of how we got connected on social media, and also how we ended up working together in business and as business partners through social media. So the theme of it and the big hot fact of this is that don't underestimate the power of social media.
Chris, you want to tell us what we're going to be talking about in episode 2, brother?
Make sure to tune in to episode 2. We're going to be talking about more social media. You guys don't want to miss out. Stay tuned. Hot facts coming soon.